Hey, this is Asasia, the People's Midwife, and you are probably here because you are thinking about having a home birth. So let's talk about the factors that would make a home birth more or less reasonable as an option for you. Home birth, while it is a lovely option, is not really the best option if you have any chronic health conditions, like if you have kidney conditions, if you're on medication for anything, if you have any heart conditions. Your best bet is to give birth in the hospital. If you're healthy, you have a low risk pregnancy, you don't have any chronic health conditions, then more than likely you are a good candidate to give birth at home. If you've already had a successful vaginal delivery, excellent chances of having a successful home birth. Your body has already done it. And I think that you should strongly consider that as an option. If it's your first baby and you are healthy, low risk, I think that you also have a great chance of having a successful home birth, particularly if you also work with a doula. So you are healthy, right? So you're healthy. And now what is your next question to consider? Is your own sense of safety. Do you perceive your home as a safe place to be? That decision shouldn't be made by anybody else. It shouldn't be made by a partner. It shouldn't be made by any videos that you've seen online. But you have to ask yourself, do I feel safe at home? And do I feel confident that whoever I work with will keep me safe at home? They could be the most experienced midwife. They could have caught 1,000 babies successfully. But if you don't perceive that to be a safe model of care for you outside of the hospital, then scratch it and pursue something that helps you to feel safe. That is most important, is your own perception of safety. In addition to that is your level of motivation. Understanding that with home birth, there isn't an option for medical pain management. And so you have to know your limits and also know your strengths, that you are capable of doing it. And it's really up to you if you feel motivated to doing it with all of the education and all of the tools that are accessible to you, that you feel driven to do that. That should be the second thing that you ask yourself, is your perception of safety and your own level of motivation. The last factor that you want to consider, which no one likes to really get into, we don't like talking about money, but whether or not it's financially accessible. Unfortunately, in most states, like the state I live in Pennsylvania, home birth is not covered by insurance. And so that ends up being the reason why a lot of people who want a home birth and who are eligible candidates for a home birth don't end up having a home birth because of financial inaccessibility. The average home birth cost right now in 2024, the year that we're in, is about $6,000 to $8,000 out of pocket. And even if you're on a payment plan, that can still feel a little bit inaccessible. That being said, there are options like crowdfunding, putting it on your registry for funds to support. In our city, we have Philly Birth Fund that can provide funds to help support home birth families. And then there's even a national fund, the Birth Fund, where if you're in a city that has providers that are working with the Birth Fund, you can access support in that way. In the same vein of accessibility is proximity. Now, you might not have any midwives who are close enough to you, or who you feel comfortable enough, who are close enough to get to you at home. So if your midwife lives further than an hour away from you, you have to consider whether or not you feel safe working with someone who wouldn't be able to get to you in an hour from the time that they even started approaching you, right? Do you feel safe with that? Can you get to your prenatal visits? Most times they're going to be in your midwife's office. And so proximity could be another inhibition to accessing midwifery care and planning a home birth. All right, thanks for listening. I hope that you found this helpful. You can follow me on Instagram at The People's Midwife and online at innercirclemidwifery.com.